Selamat sore para pendengar radio online dimanapun Anda berada. Ini kita relay kembali dengan WION, ya, The News WION, yang memberitakan berbagai macam ragam berita dan juga berbagai macam info. Mari kita dengarkan dengan listen bahasa Inggris. Tetap station terus di radio online, the best you online.
The utility quotient is that much higher. Other strong traits remain. It's a fairly good cabin, has a very nice funky look to it, plus some eccentric elements here and there, which we've all been a fan of. It's a pretty cabin for a car of this sort at this price point. And it just makes you smile. Another good thing is the fact that you have a nice, big, and very responsive infotainment screen, and you get all the features that you can probably expect from a car of this size and this sort in the segment. And the fact that you get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and everything of that sort inbuilt is very nice. Seats, well, I've said this about the C3, and I'll continue to say this about this one, which is the EC3 or the all-electric C3. They seem to be a little narrow, slightly larger bodied people will definitely have a little bit of problem getting very comfortable on them. But largely speaking, this seems to be doing the job pretty okay. One bit that we did find out is the fact that the rear, because of the battery placement, has been increased in angle or the height by about 70 millimeters. So when you sit at the back, you don't really have enough under-thigh support, despite of the fact that they've altered the contour of the seat. And especially if you're a tall person, you're going to feel that even more, and it's going to be an exaggerated feeling. Another bit that I'm not a big fan of is the fact that was tallish, and I'm fairly tall. I have long arms. Even I can't reach the other end to adjust the mirrors according to my preference. So they should have thought about giving in an electric system over here, but thankfully they've done away with the regular stock inside rear mirror that they had. Now you get this flip mechanism. Thankfully you don't have to muscle the mirror over here. You just have to do this, and it's going to get you to the night mode. That was missing in the C3. It's been done away with, and that's thoughtful on the part of the manufacturer. The big talking point, because this is an all-electric car, is of course the charging. And this thing has a very cool trick up its sleeve. It can go without any need for slow cycles, completely on DC fast charging endlessly. So it can do continuous cycles of fast charging without any drop in battery performance or health. And this thing does about 10 to 80% of charge in just under 1 hour, 57 minutes or thereabouts. And if you then plug this in, and it does not need a separate wall box, there is a charger in the car itself that you can just use to plug into your regular 15 amp socket. And that is going to take a bit of a time. It's going to be to the tune of about 10 and a half hours or thereabouts. Another very interesting thing is that the motor and the battery management system has been supplied by BYD, or Build Your Dreams. That's another great manufacturer from China. Unfortunately, not a lot of people have heard about it, but it's a big industrial mammoth, and they've been doing some fantastic work in the realm of electric mobility, and they own mines and stuff as well. So to round things up, it's a fairly competent product, fairly pleasant as well. And we think it's going to be around 10 lakh rupees or thereabouts. They cannot afford to make it stratospherically high on pricing. So yeah, if they do it around that, it should be okay. The principal rivals are, of course, the Tatas. You can have the Tiago, you can have the Tigor in the same mix. Nexon is going to sit a notch higher, so that is probably out of the equation. But this, for what it is not bad at all. Uh, there is going to be a punch electric, I'm pretty sure about that. And then the game is going to be even more interesting and exciting. But the fact that Citroen designed this car from the ground up and thought about electrification right from the word go just goes to show that the intention was always there, of course, and they're invested into the future. And this, as I said right in the beginning, is going to be a big test bed and a big case study from India for the global market because of the applications that this car can have. So it is a very, very critical product, very crucial product, and a lot is riding on it. Tata has been the undisputed king when it comes to electric mobility in the affordable space. The Nexon, Tigor, and also the latest, which is the Tiago EV, have been doing wonders for the brand. But Mahindra is also a very big player, and it could not have lagged behind all too much. So it has launched the XUV 400, which is the all-electric version of the XUV 300, on which it is based. Things are going to get very intense, and that sign is being proven because Tata has had to reduce the prices of the Nexon because of the aggressive pricing of the XUV 400.
Mahindra has finally launched its much-anticipated electric crossover, the XUV 400 in India, at an introductory price of 1.6 million Indian rupees. However, the variant with the promised 450-kilometer driving range comes at a price of 1.9 million rupees, and the 7.2-kilowatt charger further carries a premium of 50,000 rupees, compared to the standard 3.3-kilowatt charger. These introductory prices are applicable for the first 5,000 units for each variant. It comes with two battery pack options, 34.5 and 39.4 kilowatt hours. And both power the front
Oke,
axle
para pendengar
mounted
radio
electric
online,
motor
mari
that
kita
produces
relay terus tentang
150
informasi
horsepower and
WION
310 Newton-meter of
Live World Last English
The company
News.
claims the XUV
Tetap
400
station
can sprint
terus
from 0
di
to 100
radio
kilometers per
online,
hour
the
in
best
8.3
you
seconds and has a
online.
top speed of 150 kilometers per
Let's
hour.
go.
It also features 3 driving modes: fun, fast, and fearless, that adjust the steering and throttle response along with the level of regenerative braking. The XUV 400 with the 34.5 kilowatt-hour battery pack has a claimed range of 375 kilometers, while the one with the 39.4 kilowatt-hour battery has a range of 456 kilometers on a single charge. And these figures are approved by authorities as per the Indian driving cycle. It can be charged from 0 to 80% within 50 minutes using a 50 kilowatt DC fast charger. Additionally, the electric SUV can also be charged from 0 to 100% using a 7.2 kilowatt AC charger in 6 hours and 30 minutes, or with a 3.3 kilowatt AC charger in 13 hours. In the Indian marketplace, the Mahindra XUV 400 will lock horns with the Tata Nexon EV, MG ZS EV, and Hyundai Kona Electric.
When it comes to automotive luxury, there are two brands that sit right at the top. One is Rolls-Royce and the other one is Bentley. And Bentley in India has just launched the extended wheelbase version of its Bentayga SUV. It is based on the second generation of the Bentayga, and as expected, there are some crazy levels of changes in terms of the comfort features and luxury features. It is going to be available only with the V8 in India, so you can expect crazy amount of performance as well.
Bentley has launched the Bentayga Extended Wheelbase Azure in India with a starting price tag of about 60 million rupees. It is claimed to be the most comfortable version in the entire Bentayga range. As the name suggests, the version gets an extended wheelbase by about 180 millimeters. The exterior of the extended wheelbase model is highlighted by a more dominating front grille with vertical roofs. However, more alluring is the interior craftsmanship that the Azure Edition brings to the latest second-generation Bentayga. With a larger cabin space, the Bentayga EWB introduces the world's first auto climate and 22 ways of advanced adjustment rear seats. The rear seat behind the front passenger seat further gets a relax mode. In this mode, the seat can recline to 40 degrees, whilst the passenger seat is straightened forward and offers a leather-trimmed footrest too. In business mode, the seats move into their most upright position to make working on the move more convenient. There is no need to mention that the Bentayga Azure comes with most of the automotive tech that you can expect, including some high-end ADAS features. Powering the Bentley Bentayga EWB is a 4-litre V8 twin-turbocharged petrol engine with the same power output as the standard Bentayga V8. It offers about 542 horsepower, which is distributed to all 4 wheels through an 8-speed manual transmission. This system takes the luxury SUV from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.6 seconds, before reaching a top speed of 290 kilometers per hour.
Royal Enfield have been doing phenomenal stuff over the past few years, and the latest product to hit the road is a Super Meteor 650. It borrows the engine from the brilliant 650 twins, the Interceptor and the Continental GT. On pricing also, it's playing the game in a very aggressive manner because it retails from 3.5 lakh rupees to 3.8 lakh rupees. It also has a goodness of being a classic, big, relaxed cruising machine. Check this out.
The awaited Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 ultimately goes on sale in the Indian market. The price ranges between 350,000 and 380,000 Indian rupees, and the changes among the 3 variants are purely aesthetical. The Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 was unveiled to the world at EICMA 2022 in Italy, and India got to see it up close at Ridermania late last year, where the company also allowed attendees to pre-book its new flagship cruiser. The Super Meteor 650 is built on an all-new frame compared to the other Royal Enfield 650cc twins. Also, it is the first among its siblings to get a beefy 43mm Showa separate function big piston front fork and an LED headlight. Royal Enfield claims that the engine has also undergone a few minor revisions. It gets a different airbox exhaust system and revised mapping. Overall, gearing is slightly shorter, and the peak torque comes about 500 RPM later in the rev range. Output figures, however, remain unchanged at 47 horsepower and 52 Newton meter. Braking duties are taken care of by a 320mm disc at the front and a 300mm unit at the rear, both paired with a dual-channel ABS. At 740mm, the Super Meteor 650 seat height inspires confidence, especially considering the curb weight of 241 kilograms. The Super Meteor is a handsome-looking motorcycle. Though it is slightly more expensive than the Interceptor 650, it still is the most affordable 650cc twin-cylinder powered cruiser in India. And that too, with a huge margin.
If you talk to anyone analog enough to know about rotary engines, they will say that Mazda was synonymous with rotary engines, but it all just went away. It is coming back though, but not as a proper functioning engine that will propel the car. It is going to act as a power generator unit for the battery system. It develops about 73 horsepower to feed the 17.8 kilowatt hour battery in the MX-30. EV. Here are all the details.
Mazda has revealed its rotary range extended version of the MX-30 electric vehicle, called the Mazda MX-30e Skyactiv REV. The MX-30 REV is almost indistinguishable from the MX-30 EV, except some trim differences. However, it would offer a range far greater than the 100 EPA miles of the MX-30 EV. Instead of the 35.5 kilowatt-hour battery pack, the REV has a smaller 17.8 kilowatt-hour battery, enabling an 85 kilometer range by more generous European WLTP combined standards. But the REV also gets a Wankel rotary engine range extender. It is a 0.83-litre gasoline unit with a single rotor, making just about 73 horsepower and 116 newton-meter of torque. Fuel efficiency has been atrocious in previous rotary designs, and tailpipe emissions have been challenging. But Mazda says that direct fuel injection makes it more efficient. It also added exhaust gas recirculation to help boost efficiency at low loads and redesigned the seals, which are a rotary engine weak point. Its only job is to drive a generator when the batteries are low on energy. That pair fits under the hood with the electric motor that actually drives the MX-30E Skyactiv. The motor makes 168 horsepower and 260 newton-meter of torque. Mazda claims that the official 0 to 100 kilometers per hour time of MX-30 REV is about 9.1 seconds.
And with that, it is time for us to wrap this episode of Pit Stop. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to connect with us, just go to these social media pages and drop in a line to us. Before going, as always, I urge you to be very, very responsible wherever you're on the road. Feet on feet or on wheels. My name is Ashish, signing off. I will see you in 7.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at WION.com. It's code red for humanity. The alarm bells are deafening. Wildfires, floods, and hurricanes. Extreme climate events warn of impending doom. Is the world heading towards a climate catastrophe? Watch WION's Climate Tracker weekdays at 12 p.m. GMT, 5:30 p.m. IST.
You don't know how to fix the holes in our ozone layer. You don't know how to bring the salmon back up a dead stream. You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct. And you can't bring back the forest that once grew, but there is now a desert.
You have ignored us in the past, and you will ignore us again. We have run out of excuses, and we are running out of time.
Show us your faithfulness. Show us your trustworthiness. Show us your honesty. Prove us wrong. We desperately need you to prove us wrong. God, help us all. If you fail to prove us wrong, God, help us.
7.8 billion humans. 1.9 million species extinct. One planet. Where are we heading? What should we do? Watch Climate Tracker, only on WION. The world is one.
Most volatile region, conflicts over faith and boundaries. Stories of death, destruction, despair, and hope. WION brings you to the heart of the action. Incisive analysis, unrivaled perspective, and exclusive ground reports. Watch West Asia Post every Friday, 8:30 p.m. IST with me, Ladi Francis. Only on WION. World is one.
Stay connected with the world through WION. Like the page on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter for new alerts. Instagram for videos and images. And the website for the latest news, views, and analysis. WIONews.com. World is one.
Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. This is WION World is One. We are glad you're watching. I'm American Joker. The headlines at this hour. Turkey calls off Sweden's defense minister's visit over a planned anti-Turkey protest in Stockholm. The minister's visit was aimed at convincing Ankara to lift objections to Sweden's NATO bid. And India's top wrestlers call off second round of meeting with sports minister. The head of the country's wrestling federation to step aside sexual harassment against him are investigated. President Xi Jinping has interacted with Chinese soldiers stationed along the India-China frontier in eastern Ladakh via video conferencing. He insisted their combat readiness and inquired about their living conditions in the inhospitable terrain. Chinese official media reported that Xi Jinping addressed the troops from the People's Liberation Army headquarters in Beijing on the border defense situation in Kanjara under the Xinjiang Military Command. Xi is the General Secretary of the ruling Communist Party of China and the Commander-in-Chief of the PLA. While speaking to the troops, Xi talked about how in recent years the area has been constantly changing and how it had impacted the army. During the video call, the troops informed Xi Jinping that they were now carrying out dynamic and 24-hour monitoring of the border. The Chinese official media say that Xi asked the border troops about their border patrol and management work while hailing the soldiers as models of border defense. The Chinese president also encouraged the troops to persist in their efforts and make new contributions. This comes as India and China have been locked in a standoff in the eastern Ladakh region since May 2020 following a clash in the Pangong Lake area. India and China have held 17 rounds of high-level military talks on the eastern Ladakh standoff, but without any significant progress on the issues. Brahma Chelani is a professor emeritus of strategic studies at Center for Policy Research in New Delhi. Brahma is also a specialist in international security and arms control issues. Thank you very much for joining us, Brahma, and welcome to WION.
Thank you.
How rare is it for the president of China to speak to troops who are stationed at the borders? And he told the troops to persist in their efforts and make new contributions. What did he mean by that?
First, it's important to keep in mind why this military crisis has arisen along the Himalayan frontier. The reason is that the Chinese, under the leadership of Xi Jinping, carried out stealthy territorial encroachments in eastern Ladakh that took India by complete surprise in April of 2020. So it's been 33 months since this crisis has persisted, and the crisis has actually deepened because the Chinese have escalated their deployments. They have built new infrastructure in the last 33 months. The construction has been frenetic, and they seem to be on a war footing. So all that has created continuing tensions, and the talks have made little headway in easing the situation.
Going back to my question, how rare is it for the president to speak to the troops stationed at the border?
Well, the fact that the encroachments of Xi Jinping is no surprise that he has taken personal interest, not just now, from the very beginning, in the military deployments along the India frontier. For example, in July 2021, Xi Jinping paid a personal visit to the border with India. He stayed overnight at a military base of the PLA, located barely 15 kilometers from the Tibet-Arunachal Pradesh border. That really showed the extent of Xi Jinping's personal in this whole confrontation. And the fact that now he, on the eve of the Lunar New Year, telephoned the PLA command that is in charge of the eastern Ladakh region, goes to show